Hello and welcome. Uh, I have a special interview today with Ma Mansi, who is Kundalini Yoga teacher, practitioner, who is also Reiki Master and a life coach. And she also created an app for busy moms where they can practice and find a little bit of relief, right? And I want us to talk about Kundalini Yoga, different practices, but also power of spirituality, about power of self-healing and healing power that we all have within us. And yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Manzi. Like, how did your spiritual journey begin?
Hello, thank you so much, Rita, for having me. Yeah, it's a really good question. Sometimes when I feel like stuck or I feel like, what am I doing? I remember that moment. I remember that time when I actually started, and it gives me a big nudge. It gives me a big inspiration to continue. And for me, I think it was like on the physical level, the material level, I had everything I wanted. Like I had a perfect job, boyfriend, car, flat, whatever, everything. And I had a really good position in the company. And then one day I was just sitting there in the evening preparing some kind of a presentation and thinking to myself, God, what is the meaning of my life? What is the purpose of my life? And it was just it was very powerful because I didn't know. I didn't know what is the purpose of my life, and am I supposed to do it? That's what I'm doing now. Am I supposed to do this till the end of my life and that's it? Isn't there something bigger? Isn't there something more to that? And that was a very powerful catalyst for my journey to begin. And I had a very like catharsis experience and release because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to ask. So I was just asking God or whoever that is, I thought
Yeah.
at that moment. And I was asking for guidance and just show me, tell me how can I live my life happily and feeling fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And because it was so much from the bottom of my heart, it was very real, it was very deep. And like actually 1 year before that, I met my Reiki Master.
Oh.
But I did not listen so much. Like she would tell me, come learn Reiki, receive initiation, and it will start your journey, the process. And I was just like, no, no. But at that moment, when I was questioning my existence and my purpose, this came to me. It was just very powerful. It said, Reiki. And I could hear it. And I didn't understand obviously what, why Reiki, what is Reiki anyway? I thought like this. And yeah, so next day I met with my Reiki master. And said,
Wow.
well, looks like that's what it is, and I'm just gonna try it and see what happens.
Isn't that interesting? Like before you're ready, people can be telling you all whatever things, all the beautiful things. This you should do this. If you're not ready, it like goes in and out. It's a special moment. That's why they call it like, you know, a special moment of opening. Wow. Yeah. Even
Yeah,
though I feel like we're all born spiritual, right? When we are children, we have some kind of relationship with spirit. Did you feel like that when you were a child?
mm, I think yes, maybe like when I was still little, because I remember some glimpses of my childhood. I remember what I thought, but it was not. until long. I think like around 12 or 11, the connection was lost. And because of the hardship of life, because of unfairness, you see so much unfairness in life. You're thinking, how is it fair? So if there is God, then why am I suffering?
Yeah.
Because at that time I didn't understand the cause and effect relationship that we are creating ourselves.
Yeah, and especially as children, I feel like we are treated very unfairly and being judged under these like fake systems that don't, don't signify anything. Makes us lose our whatever hope we have and close our hearts.
Yeah. In the environment, yes, like environment and our parents, if they have some kind of a connection to spirit, to understanding life, I think it's easier. But if they don't, then you look at them and you lose it somehow.
Yeah. And then, how did you find Kundalini Yoga?
Yes, Kundalini Yoga was another very amazing story and experience, and still life until today. So Reiki was always my life, my foundation, and still is. And I was feeling like there's something else that I need to be open to, something else I need to learn, and I didn't know what. And I tried yoga a few times, and I really hated it. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like just this kind of a sort of exercise. There is no much connection to your spirit, and so I could not understand really why do they call it yoga. It's just an exercise. So that's how I felt it. And okay, and so then I went to travel to India, and I remember clearly I was walking in Rishikesh and across the bridge, and I hear Snatam Kaur chanting Mula Mantra, Ekonkara Satanam. And of course, I didn't know what it is at that time. I didn't know who is chanting, who is singing, but I just stopped and I could not move. I stopped and I was listening, and I had tears in my eyes, just like, wow, something is powerful. Even now I'm talking about it, I feel this energy.
Yeah, I'm almost crying. I feel it.
Yeah, I was like, I found it's like, this is something I was longing for. This is something I was looking for. I don't know what it is, but it feels so good. And I went up to the kiosk and I asked, who is that? And what is this song? What is this mantra? So he told me, so I got the music, and I just kept listening and listening. And then I started researching like all about the mantras, and then I came across that these mantras are part of Kundalini Yoga practice. Said, okay, and they didn't tell me anything. I just loved the feeling of the mantra.
Yeah.
And then how interesting and how funny, I have a good friend who at that time also was in India, and she's from Russia. And she was telling me, come with me, let's do some yoga. I said, yoga, no, forget about it. I don't want yoga. I'm just going to meditate, do my Reiki. I love it. No, it's a different kind of yoga. You will love it. I feel it. I said, well, okay, if you say so, if you feel, of course, I trust you. Let's try. So, and she was a teacher of Kundalini Yoga. She didn't tell me the name. She just said yoga. And the first class we did to a few people. And just I remember just a few minutes into the practice, how we tuned in with mantra, and then how we started the practice, and this all energy and experience. And finally, I realized, oh, this is the yoga I was looking for. Like this part I was missing. And it was just right there. I felt like I'm at home. Obviously, I felt very much connected, like, to myself, to my spirit, and also to my body. Like, I felt good in my body.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is how I came to know.
So it's really interesting how many people get, first of all, connected through mantra and through snaram. But the fact that it's through the mantra, through hearing something, it's really as if the, because when I first time heard just tuning in Om Namo Gurudev Namo, I was like, I was immediately as if transported somewhere far in the place where people used to practice yoga in this traditional way and can't be in touch with their souls. So it's as and I still feel it even with Sanskrit mantra. When I hear that, it's like immediately it transports me. So when we talk a lot in Kundalini Yoga about like encoding emotions or encoding states or encoding information in the sound current, it's exactly there, and it like finds you when it needs to find you, and it awakens something. Wow. Besides, I do want to mention that you're going to be a special guest in Golden Link training that I am doing, teaching about Reiki and teaching about the power of the Reiki light.
Yes. So Reiki, what I love about Reiki is it's very gentle and yet very powerful energy. Like, sometimes you can just, it's a very simple practice. You lay down, you place your hands on you, you let the energy come from above into you and through you. So you're allowing that energy to flow, and you just relaxing. You're just allowing, and you feel good. You feel relaxed, very gentle, very sweet. And then next morning, next moment, for example, you got up and you went to work. At work, something was happening, and all of a sudden you observe yourself that you've been really rude, or you were not fair to someone, or maybe arrogant. And you feel, oh, I am actually like this. I was not supposed to be like, it was not good what I did. And then you start going deeper and understanding how you can transform that. So that is the power of Reiki. It is gentle and yet powerful. And I love to call it or refer to it as the energy of awareness. It is that power of awareness. Only when we are aware, only when we are observing, we are healing. That is, it's a healing energy. It is a healing energy with the power of your awareness. And even if you don't observe, still, even if you're not so aware, Reiki will still flow, Reiki will still be healing you. But because we are humans, we have a mind. And everything in life we understand through mind. That is why for us it's important to understand our qualities, our energies, different situations. Then the bigger transformation happens.
Yes.
And this is right. So that is the healing, and that's how Reiki works. Reiki is just coming to you, into you, sort of opening you, and maybe showing some of the things that you need to see to become aware. But it's in a very, very gentle way. And then you work with it, work through Reiki, maybe other practices, and then the power of your awareness increases, and you're healing and healing and healing.
Oh, I love how you said it. That's why I love you, Mansi, because it's like
I love you
you
too.
have such a like a great way of explaining things, and I love how you said that about healing, because mostly we think that healing is something that happens to us. Like we are not participating. Like we don't need to change, you know. You know, we are doing everything right, but the most powerful healing is really through being aware of where you are going wrong, right? Because it's really through these steps that you take every day that then the disease kind of shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for some people it is hard to acknowledge this and this process of healing and continue because they feel like it's something negative. You know, obviously, all the things coming up. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm bad. Then you're like, what? I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel good. I met many people who feel this way. However, that is one part of the healing. The other part is that you recognize this, and then there is another part, which is also in Reiki. You recognize what are your gifts. You recognize what are the qualities that you are, you're ready to share, you are ready to heal through, and Reiki is like making it more light. You can see it more clearly, more crystal clear, and then with it you can heal more. So it's not always that you have to only see some, the drawbacks, but also you become aware of things that are beautiful in yourself and in other people, in surroundings, everywhere. And that is the healing. It's like it's all together. It's not separated.
Yeah, so true. Yes, being aware of the positive too. Yes. What I really found so interesting when we did the training last year and you were leading us through Reiki, you as if you could see what are people holding on to and what are people like getting stuck. I felt like you could see through me. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Yes, actually, yesterday I was talking to my husband about it. He was asking me, like, because I told him, oh, I'm very inspired to do this again with Zita. And he was telling me, so how was it actually? And yeah, it was very interesting. It was a very different experience. It's not like I'm working with someone one-on-one, doing just like Reiki treatment. It was very different. It was as if like I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do much. I didn't have to even guide you much. It was just the Reiki, like there was no me, there was Reiki. It was this energy that in intelligent energy was just flowing through me to people and address them in the way they needed. So yes, I could feel someone is holding on to this, the fear or the greed or some pain. But that was like it was just going very fast. Most importantly, it was like Reiki was sending the message to a person the way they would receive it in a better way. Somebody saw visualization, right? Somebody had a feeling. Somebody had some image or some memory. And it was very beautiful. Just how Reiki would give it without words, without anything. But on my side, yes, I could feel what is happening and maybe just guide a little more. But that was very little, very gentle. I don't have to hold on to that, what you have, what somebody else has. I'm just letting it through me and it go. It is not staying with me. That's also the beauty of Reiki, is that kind of a protection when you're in the light. Or when are we in the light? When we are in the heart. When we're in the heart, we are protected. There is light, and it won't touch us. It won't touch us.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, So let's talk about Kundalini Yoga a little bit. Reiki is amazing, and I think you're a wonderful master of it. What about Kundalini Yoga? Where does Kundalini Yoga fit in your life right now? How do you practice? You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Kundalini Yoga. It's like, that's what definitely, it is what I love about it. It's like, the fresh breeze. Fresh breeze. It's like, it's always very refreshing. It's never the same. Always different.
Mhm.
My experience is always different. Even if I'm doing the same kriya, I can still have a very different experience. And it is a big part of my life. It is my daily practice, but more like practice. Maybe it was at the beginning. Now it is more a life, more lifestyle.
Mhm.
For example, if I practice, like right now, me and my husband, we are together. We are practicing everyday prosperity kriya,
Mhm.
and so if we're practicing it, that's the practice, but it's not going to give us life. If you can do anything, well, it's not going to give you unless you put it into life, that intelligence you put into life. So if we are doing this, then I would observe myself. If I have any thoughts of shrinking,
Mhm.
any thoughts of not giving, any thoughts of holding, any thoughts of being greedy, any thoughts of lack of something, insecurity, inadequacy.
Mhm.
So then, yeah, then this kriya is working, and you're working with it by observing during the day. And so that's why that's what I'm saying. It's a life. It's a lifestyle.
Mhm.
We're applying it in life. And this is what we are doing right now. We are doing this kriya, and then I'm also very much interested in the
Which kriya
meditation.
exactly?
Oh, the kriya for prosperity, the
Oh, this one,
har,
I'm doing it
har.
too. That's why we are talking probably. And I just made a video about it. Yeah. Oh, great.
Oh, cool! I would love
Everybody
to see
loves that one.
that. Yeah, and we do some when we do another meditation, which is also like a prosperity meditation. Not exactly, it's not called that way, but it's kind of awakening the energies of the Jupiter, which is the energy of prosperity. We're doing that as well.
The Jupiter
Um,
kriya?
well, no, well, Jupiter Kriya, actually, we also did Jupiter Kriya. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really good one. And it's like you can really develop your resilience because you have to stay in one posture.
Hmm.
And I love it. And then, yeah, I'm interested a lot in meditations for the mind. Anything about the mind. There are so many meditations and kriyas. Um, and right now is the meditation for neutral mind.
Mm.
That's the one I practice. And
Yeah.
of course, we always do very simple warm up, and that's the best to start moving the energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Spinal flexes, like my most favorite warm up forever. Like it's actually meditation, very powerful meditation that immediately gets you in the state, like meditative state almost.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you were saying about the mind, like almost everything, all healing, all opportunities, everything first has to come through the mind, right? Like the mind can be just so blocked, and I wouldn't say blocked in a negative way, but used to its patterns and used to things like, oh, this is how it has to happen, or this is how I want it to happen. And it's in this way we are closing our mind. So a lot of training of Kundalini Yoga is like, how can I open my mind? I'm going to hold my finger like this for an hour and let's see what happens. That's gonna open my mind. Make me really angry or something.
Well, yeah, and you're holding it, and then after 1 hour, 61 minutes, you actually shift it because you made your mind to transcend. You made your mind to expand what the mind thought is a limitation. Now it's not a limitation anymore. And that's what I love about Kundalini and how we work with the mind is when you start doing something, you think, oh, unbearable. I cannot do this even for 1 minute. Hold on. In a few days, you can do it like for 11 minutes.
Yeah.
So we are like expanding, and every time we are shifting these limitations of the mind. Every time in meditation, we do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Kundalini Yoga is it should be called ego eradicator. Not just that one exercise that we have, but the whole Kundalini Yoga, it's just ego eradicator. Everybody comes and they're like in their, when they come to class, they're in their kind of world, or even if I come to class, I'm in my world, and then after class I'm like, ah, my world has opened. I'm here with you guys.
Yeah. Well, I noticed also the more we kind of practice something, it's okay, yes, to work on the mind, and surely it's good. However, it won't give us that a long-lasting effect unless we also put our heart into it. Unless we really want to work with our heart chakra, with our heart center, to remove all the blocks that towards loving ourselves and loving others without judgment, whoever they are. So we work with the mind and through the mind. Essentially, it's a lot about heart opening, because those limitations, we think like the time when we break with the mind. In fact, we're also breaking limitations in the heart. Because when the heart is not into something, in something, the mind will always create limitations and something you cannot do or you cannot love. And here, we also work on the heart. So the heart meditations, heart practices, heart opening is also
Very.
my favorite.
Yeah, I feel like it's almost a natural process that when you open, when the ego goes aside, like heart starts to speak, and you are like immediately connected with heart. And I wanted to ask you just a maybe last question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or maybe two. Okay. Because I know you've been traveling a lot and moving here, So first of all, tell us where you're from, where you lived, and where you are right now. And then my question, the main question is that, to make changes in life, right? There is no manual, there is no prescription. You are there on your own and have to make decisions on your own. So how do you make decisions? How do you know that this is a good decision and this is a good path for you?
Yeah, I love the question. So originally I am from Kazakhstan, that's in Central Asia, and I went to Canada about 14 years ago now. So that's where I lived in Vancouver, and then last few years we moved to Vancouver Island with my husband and my son. And all this time I was traveling, and about more than 1 year now, actually, we left Canada and we were traveling. So first last January, we went to Costa Rica and spent there 3 months And again, this process was very amazing, like, because whenever there is alignment with the energy of the universe and your purpose, like your soul, it will happen, no question. And this is what one aspect that can give us more trust in our decisions. Because at that time in January, it was from very depth, it was just coming, and I could not stop it. It was just, you need to go. You need to go. Leave. We had everything in Gaze. Like we had everything there. We had everything we wanted, the house and everything. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. We love it. And I said, well, we need to go.
Yeah.
And we're like, where can we go? Because exactly at that time, everything was closed pretty much. And just a couple of countries started opening up. And I met with my friend, my very good friend. She was moving, and we were helping her moving her studio, yoga studio in the house to another place. And I was just telling her, we just need to go somewhere. We need to go somewhere. I don't know where. And she was telling me, well, I also want to go. Let's go together. I said, yeah, let's go together. Where are we going? And she just literally pulled out her phone. I said, like, okay, where can we travel? And Costa Rica, I think there was Mexico, a couple of more countries just opened up, and that's it. I said, Costa Rica sounds good. I said, okay, let's do Costa Rica. It was like this. And then the next day we started just doing everything, and boom, in like a few days we left. We put a few things in one room, and we just like left most of the house empty and put things in one room, and we left.
Wow.
So
Your husband was okay with that?
Well,
Yeah, because I know him as well.
he was okay, and as he's telling me, and now when we meet people, he's telling people, Mansi knows like maybe 1 week before I know. If she says it's okay, okay, because then later I will also get it, but just a little bit later. Now his spirit is shortening. He's getting it sooner.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy about it. But
Wow.
at that time, he said, okay, let's
That's
go.
amazing.
So we came to Costa Rica. It was just like, wow, amazing, fantastic. Well, what do you think? Energy keeps moving, right? The life is not stagnant. Life is a flow. If we are in the flow, everything will happen exactly how we need, not exactly how we want, maybe, but exactly how we need. And so we are in Costa Rica, everything is fine. And I received the information, I received the feeling. Well, it's more like a feeling inside. I need to go to India. I'm just right away I feel it. I come to my husband and say, we need to go to India. He's looking at me with like crazy eyes. How? Because it's closed. It's closed. You cannot go really. And I said, well, because the energy is there. Apparently, we're gonna go. I don't know how.
Yeah. So how did you find a way?
Yeah, I started just looking. So the process goes like this. First, you feel it. First, you receive it, like you understand it inside in your guts. Your mind is struggling. Your mind is not understanding because it's not rational, and it's our negative mind which we need. But sometimes it's too much. So then the mind starts going through all the like scenarios. And then you say, okay, I'm going to use my negative mind and find a way. And then it boils down to you doing something. So basically, sitting in the computer and trying to find information. And when I was going through what is happening and can we go, how can we go, I found a way. Found a way that, and actually this is what I always wanted to do. I wanted to go to India to create a program for people that for them to come later to India. And I always wanted to do it. It's like yatra. And so, you could go there for business purpose. And I said, yes, I want to do that. And let's do it. So we collected everything needed.
Okay, so you could go business. Oh yeah, that I remember that. Yeah, you could travel for business.
Yes, again, it was like for people. I heard some people were saying it was not easy. It was like some hardship and things attached to that. But for us, it was very simple. It was not hard. Although we had to travel from Costa Rica to Panama to do that, to get the visa, it was like another very interesting experience. And only from there we could go to India.
Yeah.
And again, that process was the feeling was inside, and then I just had to trust it. I had to feel it and trust it. If I were to say, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. It's impossible to forget about it. I wouldn't even consider that there is a possibility, then we wouldn't be there. It's as simple as that. So if you trust, you just go with it and see what happens and see what transpires. Or maybe it will be no, or maybe it will be yes. But as we trust that initial process, that initial feeling in us, we become more and more trusting ourselves. And even if after that it happened to be something different, that's okay. You don't need to worry. Again, something else will come, and again you will check in with yourself and trust yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
that was a
yes.
a very amazing, breaking a lot of attachments, breaking a lot of dogmas in us as well. So we ended up there, and this is what I wanted for a long time, since the beginning there for a long time. And we stayed there for 8 months actually.
And now you receive the feeling and went back
And
to
now, yeah, like in November, end of November, that's another very interesting feeling. Like actually what happened, I knew already, somehow already knew inside that we won't be able even to stay till the end of visa because of the government things, restrictions, whatever. And what do you think? Like in about a week, we receive a letter that actually we need to leave earlier. But before then, I already felt and knew that we need to go, and we won't be even able to stay longer anyway. And so where do we go? And I was just through the feeling, we were just talking which places, and wherever we felt more energy, like the flow, it's mostly like from here you feel, oh, I say Costa Rica, and we felt like, oh yes. There was we were thinking Europe. It was Switzerland. I think it was Switzerland. It was just like that. Then we were thinking States, like this a little bit. So it is the feeling, and we went with the feeling, and we knew there is a very nice school for our son, but we didn't know exactly what it is. We didn't do any process. We said, okay, that would be even better. We'll try.
Yeah.
And so we came here. Now he's going to school. And all of this was totally intuitive process. There's nothing in the mind. And even when we tried to leave India, it was hard actually. My husband, his sister passed away last summer, and he tried to go, and he could not. Even for this reason, like even for that, he couldn't. It was just not allowed, not possible. And so we said, okay, that's fine. We will just, stay as long as we need to stay. And it just happened that we stayed as long as we needed to stay. and we didn't struggle with our mind, and otherwise we could, try really hard maybe and something else and always be in stress and tense. But we decided not to. We wanted just to go with the flow, with the energy flow.
Yeah. So this is really amazing you're speaking about this experience, because it's as I'm practicing Japji, right, and I'm reading Pori by Pori, this is first thing for him. He basically Japji, I realize it's basically a practice for spiritual practice for life. So he says, you gotta deeply listen, and this is exactly what we were talking about at the beginning, right? You have to deeply listen, and then you have to trust, and you have to trust this feeling and just go with the flow, not struggle, not fight, just trust yourself. It's huge. Anyway, I want to say,
well, the trust, if I can add, the very important thing is, so first I remember when I was just starting my healing journey, I noticed that even before that, but then I was just becoming aware of that I was very dependent on somebody else's view, on somebody else's opinion, or maybe what they suggest. And I'm Libra, and there is this always tendency and doubts, and I don't trust myself. So for me, it is the biggest lesson in my life. For me, it was the hardest process to trust myself. Well, of course, when we start doing spiritual practices, the effect of the planets, it has less effect on us, but we still have it. And so I noticed that was the biggest thing that always stopped me from trusting myself. Then I started practicing more listening to myself and just doing how I feel. Just doing how I feel. Well, of course, it doesn't mean like you do something bad that hurts somebody. It's not about that. It's more in the framework of you're not harming others.
Neutral mind.
In
the framework of not in an angry mind or not in an emotional state.
It's more like whatever I felt from inside, that is bringing goodness, so to say. And then it became more and more. It was like this, and it was this, bigger. And then finally I started trusting myself almost 100%. And what I realized last maybe like a couple of years is that if there is something unknown to me yet, that means I do not need to know it yet. That means I don't need to try with my mind to know, to understand. When the time is right, when I need to know, I will, 100%. Like with all this movement, I had no idea where we're going to be next day. I didn't try to understand with my mind, because it was that moment when I did not know. I did not need to know. That's how universe works. That's how energy works. And when you need to know, everything will opens up. And you know. And that removes a lot of struggle, right? A lot of stress from life.
A lot of anxiety.
And that is the trust.
Yes, exactly. That's how I feel. And it's not just about, you don't have to go and travel the world to be able to trust yourself and to be able to know that information will come. Like so many people obsess about information. They think they have to know things. And I live like, no, when I need to know something, it will come into my sphere of awareness. And when I don't need to know, like my life is so much better for not knowing. That's a beautiful way to end that conversation. Well, thank you so much. This was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm looking forward to having you and again in Golden Link training. I think you really have such a just very beautiful, neutral, and very wise energy to you. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Vika. I always
Yeah.
love being with you. And yeah, it's always inspiring to me. Like when I speak about this experience, it also inspires me. Wow, it really happened. So
Yeah, yeah. Conversation is one of the best ways to actually, I think, help us stretch our awareness and dialogue between ourselves. And that's another reason why I want to do the interview, because I want to talk to someone about these beautiful things, these beautiful healing things.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you so much, Vika.
And I hope all the light that we have created, that we can send it out and
Yeah.
create more light everywhere else. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Satnam.
That's nice.